everyone to this year's WiDS Datathon 2023 competition. We are so thrilled to launch another really exciting competition this year, and we welcome all of you to today's event. So today's event is really meant to walk you through how the Datathon Challenge works and the steps you'll need to take to start the competition. We will be introducing new prizes offered this year and so many resources, tutorials, and workshops designed to help you through the challenge. We are also super excited to announce new ways that you can connect with Datathon participants, starting with today. And with that, we will be having a chance to network with one another in various breakout rooms. Maybe you'll be able to connect with folks to form teams and such. And then finally, we will walk you through the Datathon on the Kaggle pages and show you how to navigate them and how to locate the data set. There will be so much time at the end for questions and answers at the end of the presentation. And feel free to post your questions in the chat. We will monitor those throughout the competition. And my name is Valerie Gorin. I am the WiDS Datathon Program Director and really excited to welcome all of you to the event. Oh, here we go. So first of all, I want to welcome all of you to WiDS. The WiDS Datathon is a part of the WiDS Worldwide Global Initiative that started in 2015. Our mission is to elevate women in data science by providing them with inspiration, education, and support in the field. Over the years, we have built out extensive programming to really build upon these three goals and to celebrate women in data science. So the WiDS conference was the first program that started in 2015 at Stanford University, and it really hit a mark right from the start. The next year, we decided to broadcast the event online and had about 120,000 attendees from all around the world. This in turn launched the WiDS Ambassador Program, where ambassadors across the globe host over 200 regional events to bring the conference to their local communities. The WiDS Datathon is the initiative that began in 2017. And of course, as you all know, it is our annual Predictive Analytics Challenge hosted on Kaggle. And of course, we are here today to go into so much more into the WiDS Datathon initiative. Every year, it gathers over 4,000 participants, and we are really excited to have all of you here today to compete in the challenge. The WiDS podcast is hosted by Margot Garrison and Cindy Orozco, and who interview women all about their careers and their journeys in data science. And we also have many, many interviews now hosted in Spanish. The WiDS Next Gen program is our educational outreach program where we educate young women in data science through extensive curriculum and work with teachers to integrate WiDS into their high schools. And then lastly, the WiDS workshops are another really great educational platform designed to upskill data scientists. The workshops are hosted monthly and taught by excellent female instructors, and you can find workshop videos on their YouTube channels, on the WiDS YouTube channel. So many of you are joining the Datathon to practice and learn various skills in data science, and the workshops are another really great opportunity that allow for skill building. Okay, so let's get into the WiDS Datathon. The main goals of the WiDS Datathon and why we are all here today is really to break down barriers for women to enter data science. To this effect, the competition is really approachable for data scientists of all levels, including beginners. The WiDS Datathon is meant to educate women in data science by practicing and honing your data science skill sets. And then lastly, we are all here to build connections and community. And throughout everything we do at WiDS, we really believe that, I'm sorry, do you mind muting yourself. I should have said this in the beginning too. If please just mute yourself. To build connections and communities. So throughout everything we do here at WiDS, we believe that collaboration is key, and the Datathon is designed so that you can learn from one another through working together in teams. And then lastly, to really attract and engage participants all around the world, the WiDS Datathon is always focused on a globally relevant and social impact challenge that has that real world impact. So in prior years, we have covered healthcare, we've covered food insecurity, and also climate change and many more challenges. The WiDS Datathon has had so much impact over the last 6 years. These are some statistics from last year, where it had attracted almost 80% female participation, which has really resulted in women having a voice and being empowered to work together on the challenge. Over half of the participants have expressed being beginners in the field, which again demonstrates that the Datathon is really approachable for all of you seeking opportunities to explore data science. Almost half of the participants last year have had no prior experience with machine learning or a predictive analytics competition. So again, just something else to really show that this is a very approachable opportunity for those of all levels. And then lastly, 71% of participants have expressed gaining new skills in data science, which have also contributed to their overall confidence. And we cannot wait to hear what you guys take from this year's challenge. The WiDS Datathon core team is made up of myself, Wei, Teresa, and Sharda. And thank you to the core team for all of the hard work that you have put into both preparing for and supporting the challenge. And I have Teresa with me on today's call, where she will go over and be able to speak soon about some more details with the challenge. And we also want to extend a really big thank you to the WiDS Datathon committee, who all really believe in the power of data science to solving critical problems and to drive innovation. We cannot do it without all of your advice and expertise along the way. So thank you to our entire committee for helping out with the data set, with tutorials, with workshops, and all sorts of things that are needed to put on a really great global challenge. And also a huge shout out to our WiDS Global Visionary sponsors, who really make this WiDS initiative possible with all of your support. Okay. So this year's theme is climate change. As you may have seen on Kaggle and through our various announcements, we are really excited about another globally relevant and impactful data set challenge this year. This year's challenge that we have provided really gives participants an opportunity to help address extreme weather events caused by climate change. And this year's data set that we have for you has been provided by Climate Change AI, where we will be analyzing weather patterns over a short-term period to predict future events. And we really believe that this is a crucial step to help mitigate the effects of climate change and to help prepare for and anticipate extreme weather events. These forecasts can impact many industries in various countries across the globe, and also help both residents and government make really healthy decisions. The image on the right that you see here shows patterns of spatial and temporal weather modeling. So just a little bit of a preview of what the data could look like this year. And we are really excited about this year's challenge and to see the models that you create. Okay, so we'll get into the details of how to get started with this year's challenge. The very, very first step you'll need to take is to make sure you sign up with WiDS Worldwide. So this is a required step of each individual. I will put the link to this form in the chat in about a minute, and you will be able to fill out your information. And once you register and you submit your registration, we will send you the direct link to Kaggle. You will have it bookmarked in your email, and you'll be able to access that link directly. By signing up with us, you will also be receiving information and updates throughout the competition. And after you sign up, you will be able to go to Kaggle, make sure to create your Kaggle account, and to join the competition. As I mentioned before, one huge piece of the Datathon is really to foster collaboration and connections with others. So we encourage you to connect with other participants and form a team. Teresa next will talk about so many different ways that we have developed for you this year where you can meet other team members and form a team. And then you start the challenge on Kaggle. So these are really, really simple steps to start. We'll put the link in the chat, and if you haven't already registered, please be sure to do that first. I will hand it to Teresa.
All right. Hi, everybody. So my name is Teresa. I'm the Resources and Communities Lead for the WiDS Global Datathon, and I'm here to talk about a few fun topics, as well as go over some of our team building opportunities. So first up, we're going to talk a little bit about our prizes for this year's Datathon. And so this year, we're really excited. We have a really broad range of prizes. And so we have a first category of prizes that is focused on your position on the Kaggle leaderboard. And to be eligible for these prizes, you need to have your team members need to have registered in that registration link that I just sent. But this is according to the Kaggle leaderboard, and all the prize winners will receive a Datathon certificate. But in addition, we do have varying cash prize amounts for the top 5 teams. So it goes in order, and we're really excited to be working with Kaggle in collaboration to be able to recognize your achievements in this competition. Additionally, we also this year are offering 2 specific prizes. One for the top high school team, where the entire team must be in high school or the equivalent level of education in your home country, and the top undergrad team, where the entire team must be undergrads. And these also require registration in the competition, as well as submission results based on the Kaggle leaderboard. And in addition, we'll be sending out a specific prize form towards the end of the competition in order to specify and declare that you're a high school student or an undergraduate team. And so these steps will be more clearly laid out towards the end of the competition. But just as a forewarning, we're really excited to be able to offer some different prizes this year. All right, awesome. So I've kind of just enticed a few prizes that we're offering. You might be wondering, how do I get started? What resources are available? What tutorials are available? So I'm going to be going over a little bit later our current Kaggle page and the resources and tutorials that are currently available. But we are offering a few videos and blog posts, tutorials on how to navigate Kaggle, how to begin to tackle this Datathon challenge, both if you're a beginner or if you're maybe an intermediate or advanced user, as well as some additional background literature on climate change and data science from the data science realm. A lot of these tutorials and resources can be found on the Kaggle resources page, which I'll be walking through a little bit later. But in addition, another first step to getting started is to start thinking about who you want to be working with for this competition. We really are emphasizing that this competition and platform is accessible to both beginners and veterans alike. And so you can totally work by yourself, Teams can be individual or can be up to 4 people total. However, at least half of each team must identify as female. And we want to encourage this, but we also want to be providing a few different ways for you to find potential team partners. And so we're really excited this year to have a few different options for finding team partners. Awesome. So one of the new things this year is that we're going to be having a Datathon Slack workspace. If you have registered if you've registered before like yesterday, you've probably received a Slack invitation from me to join the WiDS Datathon 2023 Slack workspace. And we have a dedicated channel on there for team member finding. And I'm really excited because I've seen a lot of really great introductions from all of you all. And it's very exciting to hear a little bit about all the people who are participating this year. We also have a discussion board on the Kaggle. And I've noticed a couple of posts on there as well, looking for teams. And this is another great way to connect if you prefer Kaggle discussion boards over Slack channel. We're also encourage you to attend a regional or local Datathon workshop that might be hosted in your area. This is a great way to meet people who might be specifically in your geographic region, and to meet potential mentors or other participants. And finally, another exciting new feature that we'll be having this year is the WiDS Datathon Community Series event. And so basically, we're going to be offering a series of 6 community events through the months of January through February, with the first one being next Wednesday. And I'll go into a little bit more detail in one of the later slides. But maybe for now, we can talk a little bit more about our Slack channel. So currently, the Slack channel has 4 different main channels. We have our team member finding, which is your place to introduce yourself, get to know potential team members. Feel free to, if you see a bio that's interesting, feel free to send a DM and a direct message to that person and see if you guys might be a good fit to work together as a team. We'll be posting general important announcements in general. Help is where you can go to ask any questions specifically related to the logistics of the competition. And we'll try to keep track of it and answer any questions that you may have. And random is kind of just like if you see any interesting news stories related to climate change data science, if you have any specific thoughts or opportunities to share that you think might be relevant to our participants, feel free to place that there. All right. Moving on. So yeah, so next up we have our WiDS Datathon workshops. And I kind of mentioned these earlier, but basically these are local workshops that might be happening in your area or online that would allow you to collaborate with Datathon participants or mentors in usually much smaller settings than this Zoom call of 168 people. But to name a few of the workshops that we have some in Beijing and Sri Lanka, et cetera, et cetera. And if you're interested in seeing if there is a workshop in your local region, feel free to go to this link below. Oops. Ooh, no worries. Awesome. Okay, so I kind of mentioned this a little bit before, but this year we're going to have a community series events. These are going to span 6 Wednesdays through January and February. And the idea here is that we're going to have a variety of live walkthrough sessions. Some are more oriented towards helping you find team members. Others are kind of like walkthroughs of specific tutorials and notebooks that are meant to be really interactive and allow you to kind of have like a walkthrough session of how to get started on the project immediately. But all of these are really encouraging you to get to meet new team members or get to meet other participants. And we're really excited to be working together with some really cool sponsors and collaborators on these events. But I will also share out the registration link for this community series in the chat, which you should have received already, but I'll send it again. We're really excited to be kicking this off next Wednesday with a little speed dating team member session for those of you still interested in getting to know potential team members in a live format. Our competition is going to be hosted on Kaggle. Kaggle is a platform that is very popular for data-like competitions. But today, we wanted to do a little walkthrough of our competition page to provide some, a little bit of an introduction to the platform. So as an introduction, are you all able to see the Kaggle page? Everything looking good?
It looks really good.
Yes, it's okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Cool. So, all right. So when you go to the link in the chat, you should enter our overview page, and this description page kind of just provides a lot of the information that we've already talked about today, the mission statement for women in data science, as well as some like background on the challenge and the data set itself, as well as reiterating some of the rules that we've gone over on who can participate and the team guidelines and formation, as well as providing a brief overview of what we have on this resource page. You'll also probably notice that for your specific page, instead of submit predictions, it might say join competition. And this is where once you click join competition, you'll be able to see this like submit predictions box. And when you have your data set to upload, this is where you'll upload it by dragging and dropping the test file to here. And also, as a little clarification, you can join the competition and merge teams later. So the team merger deadline, which is kind of listed right here, the merger deadline is not going to be until, I believe, 2 weeks before the end of the competition, so late February. And you can create your team directly on Kaggle in this tab right here. Awesome. So the overview. So on the evaluation tab, we go a little bit into how the data set will be evaluated, and we're going to be using something called root mean squared error. And if that sounds like really intimidating, don't worry, we have resources to help walk you through what that means and why we use it. This also goes into a little bit of the submission format for the competition. So you'll be tested on a test set of the data that you won't directly have the answers for. On our FAQ tab, we have a bunch of popular questions and answers, and so we definitely direct you to come here if you have any specific questions that you think might have been answered before. On our Datathon Timeline page, we kind of reiterate a lot of the timelines and events. So congratulations, you're already on January 6th at the WiDS Datathon welcome event. And we'll also be going through some of these next steps later on in our presentation. On our tutorials and resources tab, we offer a variety of different general tutorials, as well as, so these are general tutorials about data science techniques or introductions to Kaggle. And we also offer two challenge specific WiDS tutorials specifically relevant to this year's challenge, one in partnership with TIFNO and another in partnership with Arthur. And so we specifically encourage you to check out these specific notebooks as they relate to this year's challenge in particular. We'll be posting the event recordings like this welcome event recording right here. And we also provided some literature related to climate change and data science, as well as some introductory coursework. Nothing is behind a paywall. Everything is free and accessible. And we encourage you to check out all of the resources. And also we'll be updating some of these sections in the coming weeks. So do keep an eye out on it, especially these challenge specific tutorials. We'll be working with our partners and collaborators to continue creating new content as the competition continues to evolve. We have our prizes page, which goes over the prizes that we're offering this year. And we have our partners, as well as finally the team formation tips and tools. This is kind of, again, outlining some of that information on different ways to find teammates, whether that's via Slack, whether it's via the Kaggle discussion board, or one of our community series events. And all the relevant links can be found here. And also the WiDS Datathon workshop link can be found here. Okay, cool. So this is kind of like the overview, the rules and regulations, the data, which you're probably very curious about, and the prediction task are going to be found on the data tab. So you're provided with the train data and the test data. The train data you'll have the target label for. And specifically, the target label is going to be this value called contest temp 2m. Anyways, so this is going to actually be, it's representing the arithmetic mean of the max and minimum observed temperature for each location and start date. And so again, this is a sub-seasonal weather forecasting problem. So it's the idea is you're trying to predict the arithmetic mean temperature observed for the specific time period of interest. And I believe most of this data set covers an area within the United States. And so this is like specifically focused for that data set, but we hope that these techniques also apply to a variety of global conditions. So we're also providing an overview of some of the logistical technical rules and regulations in our data page. So we offer a data dictionary that kind of outlines a lot of these main features that are offered in the data set. There are quite a few features, and that is, of course, kind of up to you to play around with and get to know a little bit better. We also go over some of the prefixes that are offered in the data set. Some of the feature names are quite complicated, and this provides a helpful dictionary to understand what they mean and what they each entail. Okay, cool. And then here, Kaggle offers a really handy kind of like overview of the data set. So we have three files that are given to you. This is the train data, the test data, and then also we have a sample solution. This just like helps you to understand like the format in which we want your submissions to be uploaded. It needs to be in the format that includes the index as well as the contest label of interest. And this is how Kaggle will understand what score to give your submission. And Kaggle also, I feel like, has a kind of nice platform for doing some preliminary EDA or exploratory data analysis to better understand what is going on in this data set. Okay, cool. Okay, so on the code page, this is more of an interactive page to encourage community participation. This is where you'll see a variety of notebooks that other participants have uploaded. and feel free to upvote any that are of interest to you. For instance, some of these are starter packs or starter code for certain types of models. I see like Lazy Predict, XG Boost. Here we have our discussion forum, and this is also a great way to find potential team members. I notice a few team member posts. Here we have our public leaderboard, and so this is specifically exciting. We already have quite a few submissions already. So this is going to be a great way to see where you're standing and where you can improve. Okay, we have kind of our important rules and regulations about the team limits and the competition timeline. And finally, your team tab. This is where after you understand who you want to be working with, and maybe later in the competition when you know this is finalized, you can create a team name and then specifically invite team members through the Kaggle portal. Okay, cool. Yeah, are there any questions before I leave this Kaggle page?
Feel free to post your questions in the chat if you have any specific ones related to Kaggle. There's a question from Sanjay. How come there are already submissions if this is just starting?
Yes, so yeah, we launched the competition on Wednesday evening. And so I believe that there have just been some really excited individuals to get started on submissions. I should also clarify that you can submit, there's a limit on submissions, but you can submit multiple submissions. So maybe they're submitting a first trial run and seeing how the rest goes.
Yeah. Here's a good question. Do we only use Python?
A great question. You can use any programming language that you feel comfortable with. Python would be great, but we don't have any requirements on the languages that you use, because the only thing we're looking at is the solution file, which only has the indices and the target value. And on the note of submissions, the submission maximum is 15 entries per day, and you can select up to 2 final submissions for judging.
Mm-hmm. Here's a really good question. Vivian asks, can I know if the research papers listed under resources are freely available for non-researchers? And I believe the answer is yes, they're freely available.
Yeah, they should all be not behind a paywall. But if one of them is, feel free to ping me and I can send it to you as a PDF.
Yeah. Oh, here's a good question sent directly. Are those data sets only for practice purpose, or is that the actual data set to work upon? So yes, this is the data set. So the data set posted here on Kaggle is the one that we are working with for this year's competition.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions about Kaggle? Okay. I will do a brief overview of the Datathon timeline. Oh, here's one. Yeah, so will the hidden 50% of the evaluation set be released closer to the end of the competition, or will that just be used for evaluation after the end?
So that'll just be used after the end. Like we will hide that until the competition closes. This is just a way to make sure that you don't fully know where you stand on the leaderboard until the competition closes.
Correct. And I see you asked where are the research papers? You should see that resource tab on Kaggle. Do you see that on Kaggle? There should be a tab called tutorials and resources. So that's where you can find the papers. Okay. Yep, Cindy provided that as well. All right, let's go over a brief Datathon timeline, and then we will proceed from there. So I really stress that you bookmark these dates on your calendar. So as Teresa mentioned, the competition has opened and we are now on the welcome event. From next week all the way through February 22nd, we will be hosting weekly team building events where you can continue to connect together and form teams at these events, or also asynchronously on the WiDS Datathon Slack channel. On February 3rd, we will be hosting a WiDS Datathon webinar, which will be all about climate change and data science, and it will have a panel of 4 to 5 panelists who will be sharing their expertise across the field of data science. And that will also be a recorded event, and we will post the link to register for that when it opens, probably in the next 2 weeks or so. We'll be sure to share that link with you to register. And on February 14th, the prize form will open. So Teresa did allude to that, and that will be especially crucial for those of you who are students and could potentially win a prize. We encourage you to fill out that prize form to qualify. February 26th is the team merger deadline. So please be sure to note your team structure directly on Kaggle by the end of that date. And then lastly, the WiDS Datathon will end on March 1st. You will have until the end of March 1st to make all your final submissions. And the winners will be announced at the WiDS Stanford conference. I received a chat to share the link to the conference, so I will put that again in here to everyone. And we encourage you to register for the conference if you can attend in person. And additionally, it will be streamed on live stream, and you will be able to see the winning announcements for the Datathon. Let's do a quick, we'll go back to questions, but while I'm sharing my screen, I just want to highlight some of these next steps, and then we'll open the floor to questions. So again, the registration form is opened. This also brings me to another really, really good point, that the registration form will stay open the entire duration of the challenge. It will not close. So you have that time to register, but we encourage you to register sooner rather than later. You should have received your invitation to the Datathon Slack channel, and if you have not, you'll probably receive it by the end of the day today. So be on the lookout for your invitation to Slack to connect with one another. And then the community event series that Teresa also alluded to, I put that link in the chat, and it should also be posted in Slack as a great resource for you to continue building your events. Not your events, your teams. And then lastly, attending the WiDS Datathon workshops that we mentioned are really, really great resources to receive mentorship and guidance from WiDS ambassadors. And on that note, of course, a huge shout out to all of the ambassadors who are with us on today's call. All right, so we'll open the floor to Q&A for the last 5 minutes or so. If you have any questions, please put them here in the chat, or you can share them vocally as well.
Hi, this is Sneha from IBM. I had a question on computing the position in the public leaderboard. You said 50% of the data of what we submit would be used, right? So if you submit, like, say, 100 rows, 50 of those rows would be used. Is that right?
Yeah. So basically, we have our evaluation set, and there's a random holdout of 50% of the evaluation set. And so the root mean squared error is only computed on half of it. And we don't release the full score, like the score on the full evaluation set until after the competition closes. So during the competition, you might see the leaderboard, but your results might change dramatically or slightly after the competition ends.
Okay, and you said that is randomly picked, right? So if I do 2 submissions, it is not like the first 50 is picked always, right? Each submission, like the 50% that is picked could be different. Is that right?
The 50%, it's not necessarily the first half or the second half, it's a random submission, but the indices that are random are the same.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Josephine asks, do we submit whatever we do every day or a few days? I don't know if I'm really sure what you mean by your question.
I think that I have a question. I don't know if I understand too, but I think I have a similar question. But it is we can upload our responses anytime, right? We can do the submissions anytime.
you can
If
submit
I
anytime.
day by day or weekly or whatever.
Yeah,
Until
you
the
can
end of the competition.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You can submit one at the end, one every day, one every month.
Right, so you have a maximum submission of 15 entries per day, and you can submit at any time throughout the competition.
Oh, okay. There's a maximum per day, but there's no maximum per competition. Like I can submit, I don't know how much as I can or I want in the whole competition, but per day I have this maximum.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. So you
Okay,
can submit up to 15 per day, and you'll be able to select up to 2 final submissions for the final judging.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so that's how the submission works. It's 15 per day maximum and 2 for final judging that you can pull forward.
But is there a maximum per team, right? For example, if the teams are not formed till end of February and everybody in the team has submitted 15, would they overrun the maximum submissions for the team?
No, I don't think so. So basically the main constriction is just that we really want to verify that you're only choosing to fully evaluate 2 notebooks at the end. I don't think you should worry about like each of you submitting too many to go beyond the 15 limit as a total. We won't disqualify for that.
Correct. Really good questions. Are there any other questions? I saw one in the chat earlier about team size. So again, the team size is between 1 to 4 people. And 50% who must identify as women. So that is the only team rules and criteria, and you can form them as you wish. Here's a question. Do we predict and submit using test data only?
Great question. So to clarify in your potential workflow, you might be, so we have a training data set and then a test set that does not include the target label. So in your train set, maybe you'll use that to predict, maybe, and then you'll be evaluated on the results of our test set target labels. But I think to answer your question, yes, you would basically the thing that you're submitting is the predictions on the test set.
Correct.
Does that answer your question?
We realize that we've reached the top of the hour, so we do understand that. However, we are here to stay on for another 5 minutes or so and help answer any further questions about the competition.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thanks so much.
Thank you all. And to follow up, if you have any further questions for us, we are available over email and on the Slack discussion board. That will be the best place to answer any further questions. All right. Thank you all for a really, really great event. I'm going to stop the recording.